Hello, sports fans, and welcome to Scott Sports 101 NFL Football Sunday. The early games, we'll call it a pregame halftime show, and it's Scott Sports 101 NFL Football Sunday, Week 3, and we'll cover all of that. We'll go over all of today's action, and I'll let you know what's going on in all the games. I'll give my take of what I think is going to go down in today's Browns game, but first, here is today's I forgot the question again. Scott Sports 101 NFL Football Sunday trivia question. What NFL football team was known as the Cardiac Kids? And I will have that answer later in the podcast. Well, it's week 3 of the NFL regular season. Of the NFL regular season, and the Browns are coming off the Browns are getting ready to take on the Chicago Bears. They're already battling it out right now at home at First Energy Stadium, and right now at halftime, the Browns have a 10-3 lead thanks to a late Baker Mayfield touchdown pass to Austin Hooper, and right now it's 10-3 Browns at halftime. Now, the Browns are coming off a 31-21 win over the Houston Texans last week. The Browns will look to go to 2-1 with the win over the Bears today. Hopefully we do that. And at very base level, Baker Mayfield has been elite through 2 weeks of the 2021 NFL season. While that is a very small sample size, Mayfield's play in the second half of the 2020 season was also high level. His ball placement has excellent leading into completing 81.6% of his passes despite pushing the ball downfield regularly. He has 2 interceptions. His 2 interceptions, have explanations that make them easily understandable, using a variety of weapons since Odell Beckham Jr. Was injured. But today Mayfield gets his best weapon back in Week 3 against Chicago. Now, Mayfield and the entire Browns team and the Browns fans are excited to see number 13 play in today's game, and we'll see what number 13 can do in the game against the Bears today. Now, the Browns defense looked really weak in last week's game against the Houston Texans. They really need to step it up today against this Chicago team. And meanwhile, the Chicago Bears are coming off a 20-17 win over the Cincinnati Bengals last week at Soldier Field at their home. And you can be sure the Bears are going to be out to win today's game against the Browns and improve their record to 2-1. Justin Fields makes his first start for the Bears today against the Cleveland Browns, and Coach Matt Nagy announced Wednesday as Andy Dalton deals with a knee injury. The announcement came days after Nagy declined to name a starter for Week 3 after not being scheduled to speak to the media Wednesday. Nagy said it was important to move forward and make the announcement that Fields would start. He prepares well. First time truly prepare as the starter, Nagy said of Fields. And when asked how ready he feels to start, Fields replied, "I think I'm ready. I've been preparing for this moment for a long time." And Nick Foles will serve as the backup in today's game. Now, Fields knows what he has to do. Since he's against Baker Mayfield and the Browns, he's got to keep Mayfield on the ground, and he's got to really make those passes quick. And right now, it's been a mediocre first half between the Browns and Bears, and the Bears' offense really needs to step it up because they looked a little weak in last week's win over the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, getting back to the Browns, they know what they have to do in that second half. They got to keep scoring, but I really don't. I don't feel this game is going to be high scoring, and I'm going to say the Browns get the win, 24-17 by a touchdown. But they got to keep Jason Fields on the ground, and they've got to really put the pressure on the Bears' offensive front line and the defensive backs and their defensive front line as well. So we will see what they do in the second half. I will break down the first half for you right now, what I will do. First quarter, the Browns had a turnover on downs. Had kicked a field goal, actually, and it was it was a and it was good, and it was 3-0. It was 3-0. Chicago went 3-0 at the punt. Then the Browns had a turnover on downs at the time of possession, and Baker Mayfield stepped back to pass and got sacked for Chicago 31 for 11 yards, and that's when Chicago got the ball back, and they kicked a field goal. And Carlos Santos with a 47-yard field goal attempt was good. It was 3-3 at the end of the first quarter. And then Baker Mayfield threw the late touchdown pass in that second quarter. We'll get to that in a minute. Bears went 3-0 and had the punt, and the Browns had the punt, and they went 3-0 after 8 plays, 30 yards, and then 5 plays, 19 yards. The Bears had the punt again, and then Baker Mayfield, the short middle pass to the Chicago end zone, catch made by Austin Hooper for a 13-yard touchdown. And Chase McLaughlин's extra point is good. And right now, that's where we stand at 10-3 Browns at halftime. So I was glad that the Browns scored at halftime. And I'll go over my picks of the week and who I've taken and who my brother-in-law has taken in just a moment. But right now, it's time to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 NFL Football Sunday trivia question. What NFL team has been known as the Cardiac Kids since the 1960s, 70s, and 80s? And a little bit in the 90s as well. And if you said the Cleveland Browns, you are correct. Especially during the 1980s, the Browns were known as the Cardiac Kids, as they have made many comebacks in the 80s and come from behind victories. I'll have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. Now it's time to get to my picks of the week. And so we're going to go back. Carolina Panthers beat the Houston Texans 24-9 Thursday night, and boy, what a night for excuse me. And Sam Darnold had his first game with 2 rushing touchdowns. Darnold's first career 3-0 start and 3 straight wins. Second time in his career, 3 games, 275 plus pass yards for the first time in his career. And Austin McCarthy left the game in the second quarter with an injury. Panthers 3-0 for the first time since 2015. Panthers allowed 4 sacks. QB hits, 193 yards total allowed. And boy, that was one heck of a game for the Carolina Panthers. And my brother-in-law and I both took Carolina. We won in that one. We're 1-0. And the third quarter is just about to get underway, and Chicago is going to be kicking it off because they've got the ball. And I'll put that back on in just a moment. But right now, we're going to go over the other games today. The Tennessee Titans are taking on the Indianapolis Colts. It's 14 Tennessee. Third quarter, they're just getting underway. And my brother-in-law and I have both taken Tennessee. The New York Giants and the Atlanta Falcons are battling it out at MetLife Stadium in New York. And it's 7-6 Atlanta at halftime. I've taken the Giants, and my brother-in-law has taken the Falcons. That is the only game that we don't agree on. Would you believe? The Kansas City Chiefs are going to be taking on the LA Chargers, and that is it's right there. And the third quarter is just getting underway in that game on Arrowhead, and it's 14-3 Chargers in the third quarter as the third quarter gets underway. And my brother-in-law and I have both taken Kansas City for that game. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are taking on the Cincinnati Bengals at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. They were 14-7 at halftime. My brother-in-law and I both taking Pittsburgh, but Cincinnati is leading the Steelers 14-3 right now at halftime. No, 14-7 at halftime. Excuse me. My mistake. The Baltimore Ravens and the Detroit Lions are battling it out at Ford Field in Detroit. Baltimore leads 10-0 at halftime. And my brother-in-law and I, we've both taken the Ravens on that one. The Arizona Cardinals and the Jacksonville Jaguars are battling it out at Everbank Field in Jacksonville. And my brother-in-law and I have both taken the Cardinals for that one. And Jacksonville is leading that one 13-7. And their third quarter is underway. They've got 13:44 left to go in their third quarter. The New England Patriots are battling it out with the New Orleans Saints and Foxborough. New Orleans is leading 14-3. My brother-in-law and I have taken New England for that game. The Buffalo Bills and the Washington football team are battling it out at Bills Stadium in Buffalo, New York. Buffalo leads 27-14. My brother-in-law Eric Hall and I, we both taken the Bills. And those are your early games going on right now. The New York Jets and the Denver Broncos will square off at Mile High at EverPower Stadium, a field in Mile High. My brother-in-law and I both taking the Broncos for that game. The Miami Dolphins and the Las Vegas Raiders will square off at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. And we've both taken the Raiders. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the LA Rams battle the unbeatens, both teams 2-0. We'll battle it out at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. And we've both gone with the Buccaneers for that one, my brother-in-law Eric Hoyle and I. Tonight's Sunday night game will be the Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers. We've both taken the 49ers. And tomorrow's Monday Night Football game, the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles will square off at AT&T Stadium in Big D. And my brother-in-law and I, we've both taken the Cowboys. So right now we only have one game that we don't agree on, and that is the Giants and Falcons game. But I feel the Browns will get the win, 24-17. I think they're going to get the win today. They have the advantage. And I'll be back with the post-game show for the early games and the late games, pre-game show once the game between the Browns and the Bears has concluded. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1. I'm done. Enjoy the game, everybody.